Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is January 14th of 2020, and ever since the release of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, a lot of fans have been very intrigued and curious about the future of the Star Wars franchise by Disney and Lucasfilm. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Episode 9 is that we do know that this movie is just inching toward the 1 billion mark at the box office worldwide. It's taken quite a bit of time. In fact, it's not going to top The Last Jedi's box office from what it seems if it keeps this pace up. But looking at everything at Disney and Lucasfilm and what they are currently trying to do for the future of the franchise is that they are really trying to make things right with the Star Wars fans, and in order to really make the fans very happy, they are actually coming up with numerous plans in order to reshape the franchise and to really hit that reset button and to change their ways related to the Star Wars universe. Now, on top of all of this, what's rather interesting about, Star Wars in the future overall is that they are developing a new Star Wars universe, basically a brand new expanded universe where all the movies, the TV shows, the books, the novels, etc. are all going to connect to each other. Now, CEO of Disney, Bob Iger, as you all know in case you guys didn't, CEO of Disney, Bob Iger, is actually coming up with many different plans in order to make Star Wars a more authentic franchise moving on forward into the future, past Episode 9, focusing more on the new trilogy, new Star Wars TV shows, comics, books, you name it. Now, it's said that currently Disney and Lucasfilm are developing their brand new Star Wars universe that is all set to begin this March of 2020, where all of the books, comics, TV shows, and movies will connect to each other just like how the MCU works under Disney now as well. Now, it's noted that Lucasfilm and Disney are trying their absolute best in order to fix the Star Wars franchise and to bring it back to its roots and how it was before The Last Jedi and before specific choices that Kathleen Kennedy made for the franchise. One of the big plans by CEO of Disney, Bob Iger, was to take away the creative decisions that Kathleen Kennedy would be able to make and to only allow her to plan the roadmap of Star Wars films, but not on a creative level. Now, also, it's noted that Disney and Lucasfilm will no longer be using their own agendas in their Star Wars movies or ways to send messages about the real world, and that they are said to be done with that now for the future of Star Wars after realizing that the box office results for The Rise of Skywalker may not even top The Last Jedi's. This is Disney's desperate response in order to keep Star Wars alive and to make things right by no longer using their own Hollywood agendas in their Star Wars films, TV shows, and other projects currently in the works. Now, it's said that this is their way of also making Star Wars more authentic and to make it stay true to how it was done with the originals and the prequels. Dropping the agendas are said to be a big decision by Disney and, of course, Lucasfilm, and the CEO of Disney, Bob Iger, in order to satisfy the fans who have been very unhappy with the way Star Wars has been treated in the sequel trilogy and others. So, let me talk about this. Now, the thing about Episode 9 here is that we obviously see that J.J. Abrams tapped into the agendas a little bit more with this movie, and I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that Kathleen Kennedy was more involved with The Rise of Skywalker than any other Star Wars film out there that Disney has created. It's one of the main reasons as to why I believe The Mandalorian is so successful is because Kathleen Kennedy was not involved, creatively speaking. She had no say in the matter of how things should be done or how things should be presented. And that's exactly what happened with The Rise of Skywalker, The Last Jedi, and The Force Awakens. So now that Disney and Lucasfilm are in a spot where they realize that the box office just really isn't doing as well as The Last Jedi so far, as of right now at least, they're coming up with all these different plans in order to drop the Hollywood agendas with these Star Wars movies, and if you guys want to agree or disagree with me on this, that's perfectly fine. Everybody can have their own opinion, but there are agendas in these Star Wars movies, there's no doubt about that. You can definitely see them in The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker. They are there. I'm not going to go into that too much in this video because I've already talked about this numerous times before in the past, but you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. So, everything related to these Hollywood agendas that are being dropped with the Star Wars future, I think is an excellent move by Disney and Lucasfilm, because look what happened with Terminator Dark Fate. Say what you will about Terminator Dark Fate, if you guys liked it or enjoyed it or disliked it, whatever have you. I myself disliked the movie because of what was done with it. And even the director denied, everything related to what they did with that movie and why it failed at the box office. So now we can see that Disney and Lucasfilm are trying to realize that maybe they have to reshape this Star Wars, the Star Wars universe, the franchise, if you will. They have to change their ways. They have to stay more true to how it was with the prequels and the originals, where it wasn't really forced, the Hollywood agendas in there. It wasn't quite as bad as it was now. And now we're seeing, obviously, that Disney CEO Bob Iger wants to make this as successful as it can be. As he said at, the premiere of the movie, he said that we are now just realizing what we can do with Star Wars and what we are capable of doing with this franchise. And I think that what that really translated to was we can really make good content, we can really make good material if we leave it up to the creators. And The Mandalorian is a prime example of that. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.